the last man standing.
It gets better and better for Laurie Canter.
Laurie Canter.
Laurie Canter. Laurie Canter.
We are here with world number 78 according to Google, right where we are today. World height of 42. We have an ex-European Open 2024 winner and also a 2025 Bahrain champion, Laurie Cantor, one of the most established UK golfers in the world.
If you're going to have a career in sport, you have to be self-propelled. You have to want to get out of bed, practice, train, eat right, do the right thing. If you don't live that the whole time, you probably won't make it. But on the European Tour, which is the sort of average win would be around 2 million. Then live is 30 million.
You gave Caitlyn Jenner a golf lesson.
I did, yeah.
Wasn't there a big press thing about it?
I was trying to show her a golf drill.
What's the biggest financial risk that you've taken in your career?
I took like a £25,000 loan. I read a book a couple of years ago called The Psychology of Money. That was quite eye-opening because it talks about people who go bankrupt and that kind of stuff.
Are you doing anything outside of golf, and what's your plans after golf?
That is a good question.
Do you fear that you could be forgotten? Okay, so today we are here with world number 78, is that correct?
I haven't checked recently.
I checked today this morning.
Okay, you're going to be right.
Full iPad here of like fact checks.
I've been on the. I've slid a bit this year, so I've tried not to look.
World number 78, according to Google, right where we are today. This is February 2026. World height of 42. Is that correct?
Yep.
See the knowledge that I'm coming with, that's incredible. We have an ex-European Open 2024 winner and also a 2025 Bahrain champion. Is that all correct?
That's all correct.
I am on fire today. Laurie Cantor, one of the most established UK golfers in the world, a friend, associate in property, I suppose we could say.
Landlord.
Yeah. I don't want to say landlord. We'll get onto that story in a minute. So thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me.
The reason you're here, outside of me being intrigued by your story, is I like to get on the podcast people that have got a story to tell, someone that's aspirational, and I think maybe want to get an insight into who you are, business, life, golf. So when we talk today, like, I don't want to just talk about golf. The people that will watch this today, there'll be loads of golf fans. I know that for a fact. But I really find it intriguing when I get sports stars on and ask them a little bit deeper questions as well as the good stuff as well. So thank you very much for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me and inviting me into your beautiful home, man. This is
thank you so much.
Very, very nice.
Well, yeah, like I said, friends and close associates will come into here. So, golf or tennis? My understanding is that you were nearly a tennis star.
Yeah, I mean that was sort of the start of my journey was tennis. I probably took. I mean, I started tennis at kind of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of the first sport I really played, fell in love with, and I became a kind of nationally ranked junior, if you like.
Oh, really? Just ranked around the world and everything, yeah?
Well, no, I mean, I was 12, so there's levels. But, I mean, I think it was a good background for me. Tennis is different to sport in the way it's... tennis is different to golf in the way it's, I want to say, taught, and the level you have to be and the age that you really need to focus on it.
What, so you need to be younger when you're doing it?
A lot younger.
Really?
You're a lot younger in tennis. Like, to give you an example, age, I was at the point where I was then asked to move schools, drop GCSEs, really kind of impact your wider life to continue playing tennis.
You want to do it?
I kind of probably wanted to. I think my parents are both quite heavily, I don't want to say into education, but their backgrounds are...
He's a surgeon, I can tell you.
My dad's a surgeon.
Come on, mate, I told you.
My mum at the time was a lawyer, so I think between the two of them, I think they felt like that was a lot for a 12 or 13-year-old to give up. They'd have let me do it.
For you, though, if you are where you are today and your kids at 12 or 13 become really good at football, as an example. So I think about this with my son, Harvey. And I'm really pushing football, golf, UFC at the moment. Football first for me. If Harvey becomes a really good footballer, they're probably going to say to him, you need to go to England if you want to make it. You're probably going to face the same. As a parent, would you do that now?
I think you just want to do it. For me, it would just be all about my kid.
Yeah.
You know, if he showed the promise to do it, wanted to do it, that's it. Like you can't. You have. I think as a parent, that's what my parents did for me was basically foster that self-confidence, push you in the right ways, but not over push.
Yeah.
You know, that can happen easily when and I think you're going through so many changes as a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old.
Yeah.
I think if you impose yourself too much, it can work the other
Yeah.
way.
You think you can overpush it?
Yeah, I think you definitely can. And I think it would be that if you're going to have a career in sport, to the same level what you've done in business, it comes from you. No one would push you to where you've got. And the same's true of sport. You have to be self-propelled. You have to want to get out of bed, practice, train, eat right, do the right things. If you don't live that the whole time, you probably won't make it.
Yeah, because I've got my nephew. He's 5, and his name's Mason. And you watch him at football. He's elite. He's rapid. He can take players on. He's got everything. And his dad, who's my brother-in-law, takes him to football 6 or 7 times a week, like twice a lesson, having private lessons. I'm like, wow, this is intense. But obviously, the father, you want him to be the best version of yourselves. He loves it. If the boy loves it, then you're on, aren't you?
You're on, and that's as long as it keeps going back to that. And I think as a parent, you can still give them what they need outside of football, like love, support, all the things you try and do as a parent. Then that's brilliant. Yeah,
I've got friends who I love football. When I played football, I'm 39 now. I'm 40 in April. When I used to play Sunday League, I wasn't even in a great standard. I used to love it. Like if someone said, "Oh, we can play in an hour. Let's play." I'm on. I'm going.
Yep.
Where I've got friends that at really high level, they were like combination. They were like, below the top leagues, but they were really good. But they hated football.
Yep.
That's probably the reason they never made it.
I mean, I know people in golf who are like that though, who have become pros and are phenomenally talented, brilliant athletes, and have had a career in it, who don't have that
Oomph.
Who don't have that kind of love and relationship with the game that, for example, I probably still do.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably a difference between when you're aspiring to something, you're the 5-year-old kid or the 8-year-old kid who wants to go and kick a ball around and do it all day, to someone who might be in the latter half of their career. They have to do like 2 hours prehab every day just to make sure their knee doesn't fall.
Like you.
No, luckily not yet, but I mean, luckily we're all right in that camp. But I look at footballers. I'm friends with a lot of rugby players, and their bodies are destroyed. So and I guess that could breed a bit of resentment towards your sport.
Yeah.
But that's like a very different scenario to probably people who are getting into the sport, trying to make it. I think they're obviously slightly different things.
Yeah, golf, man. I mean, what you getting? Golfer's hip. You're not really getting a lot on golf. It's not like rugby, is it, or football?
No,
What's the worst injury you're going to get in golf?
People it's just overuse injuries. Yeah, like so hips, lower back.
Yeah.
You get the odd funny movement pattern in golfers. You know, if you swing bad, then
You said this to a rugby player, they'd be like, "You're a proper wimp."
Yeah, they would. They have
Cauliflower ears. They've got everything, mate. They're in a world of trouble.
They don't even bother fixing the cauliflower ears because, the next weekend it's back out again. So they just leave them and then hopefully patch them up at the end of their career. I mean, those guys are a different breed. So I think on the scale, golf's, the great thing about golf is the longevity of it, and the ability to play it for a long time. I still think the way it's gone with more speed, power, young people coming into the game, you have to really look after yourself. But it's there's more of a focus of how can I be playing good golf when I'm Justin Rose's age, 47, 48, versus I'd say, a footballer's career, a tennis player's career, it burns brighter and then it's over.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Now, bear in mind, I'm not a superstar golfer. My handicap's 21. It's more a social thing for me. If you are out of shape, okay, and I give you the example. I'm going to use Tiger Woods, okay. He's 50. Is he 50?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's been elite level.
Yep.
Surely in golf, you can be out of shape, but be so good that you can win a tournament. Or is that not possible? Am I speaking completely wild there?
I guess out of shape, we'd have to quantify what out of shape it. If you look at someone visually and think they're carrying a few extra pounds or whatever, that's not necessarily bad for golf. If you think about the demands of golf, it's a very steady state sport. Play over 4 days. little bit of fat storage is probably good for,
Getting you more power.
good for that. Well, it's like
I like how you call it fat storage, by the way. You're not like, you fat, mate. You're a fat golfer.
Well,
You say fat storage is better.
yeah. So I'd say you've got an element of that, but then yeah, I think golf, like really what you need for golf is decent level of flexibility, power, those things kind of marrying together, and a pretty sharp brain.
So do you think with Tiger Woods, his back injuries is the problem, not the age? If you talk about him potentially not being number one anymore, or is it the love of the sport? Because it's let's use him as an.
No, he's had some shocking injuries, and I don't know the full extent of it, but my kind of understanding from coaches and people who've been around him have said he's been through some quite alternative training methods.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think if you look at the golfer he was when he came out as a 20-year-old, he was very slight, massive flexibility, wasn't muscle bound. I actually think the perfect build for a golfer is kind of like a tennis player. Actually, I think there's a lot of crossover in terms of that. And to be honest, as Tiger put on more muscle and became more that way inclined, he looked better, but he didn't necessarily play any better. And I think
it's worth 500 mil though. I don't think he cares that much anymore. I just seen an interview of him. He's just done like a smirk, and he said, "Are you coming back for what's the big one that he's meant to go into?"
the Masters.
The Masters,
Yeah.
and he went, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Oh my God!
No,
he do it, didn't he? How long ago was it when he came back and it was like mad and he won it?
Yeah, 2019. So I'm careful not to slag Tiger off. I think he's.
We love you, Tiger, if you're watching this.
He's great. But I'd say
he's watching the Lewis Allsopp podcast. Well, you never know.
Never know. We'll get him onto it. But I think he's. I think as a fan of him, I've always been a bit frustrated because we have lost so many years of him playing prime golf. If you look at what the guys in his generation are still doing in golf, and he's maybe played 30 or 40 times in the last 10 years, which I think, it's
like Ronaldo being injured all the time, isn't it? So you don't get to see him on the pitch.
But he's never injured. Ronaldo's someone I think who's looked after his body in the right way.
Maybe not Ronaldo. I'm trying to think of like someone, Rooney. Sorry, Tiger.
Well, sorry, Wayne, if you're listening.
Yeah, sorry.
After Wayne and Tiger now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't think listen, if being called Wayne Rooney or Tiger Woods is still a good comparable. We're not putting them the lower echelon.
They're doing all right, yeah.
Okay, so what we're saying, just to summarise, if you are out of shape, as long as you're flexible and you're not injured, use a chance you could win the DP World Tour.
A few other factors, but yeah,
that's what I've got with.
Yeah, it doesn't. We'll call it golf fit, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you won the tour in 2024.
So I won the European Open in Germany. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the European Open that you won, I last month played with Danny Willett in an invitational.
Yep.
And it's the first time I had a caddy play with me. So the caddy was like, they're sitting there with inches of like where they want the shot to go. And it blew my mind. I've never been that close to a real pro golfer on an 18-hole and watch what happens. The annoyance that he was getting for being 5 yards in and out of where he thinks he should be. How fine margins is it, and how good do you need to be to win the tour that you won in 2024?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. He's, Danny's won the Masters.
Yeah.
So he's his sort of expectation level and ability to control the ball when he's at the top of his game's like very high.
Yeah.
So I'd say a good comparison. I'd say as golfers, there's probably once or twice in a whole season where we'd finish a tournament and be satisfied. So you've got to be comfortable with 95% of the time we play, practice, compete, we are disappointed.
Really?
I mean, the best golfer in the world at the moment would be Scotty Scheffler, and he'd only win statistically maybe 1 in 6 or 7 events.
Wow.
So you're talking about a sport where it's like unbelievably difficult to win a tournament.
So you've got to be literally like shooting arrows at the bullseye every time.
And then kind of beyond that, you need a bit of luck. Like that's like golf as a sport. You've got to have the skill set.
But you need to look. Sometimes it is just sometimes lands and the dice rolls the right way.
A bounce of the ball, a putt that goes in, the wind gusting, or there's just so many different elements to golf. I mean, whoever sort of invented golf did it to just people up.
Yeah.
Like they put bunkers in, heavy rough, water, like this.
It's literally the best sport and the worst sport ever. If you,
Yeah.
do you know what it is when I play? I'll hit one banger down the middle and it will keep me coming back to play. But then I'll put 6 shots straight, like into a tree, and I'm like, I hate the sport. But then that one click that you get, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, there's always something that'll bring you back in a round of golf, or a reason to sort of keep you coming, if you like. And then even as a pro, it's probably shifts maybe less from that and more from the pursuit of something. I think as a pro, when you're struggling, you can really feel like miles off it.
Yeah.
But when you start hitting it well, you think, oh, go win the Masters next month. Like
Yeah.
it's worrying how that sort of tightrope you walk.
Do you know the problem with it is though, is that especially in golf, even if you're hitting these balls incredible and doing so well, everybody else is also playing to their margins, aren't they? Like you could think you're doing amazing, but the guy that's next up in line, he could also be thinking he's doing, and it's one shot, isn't it? It's really one mistake or one misput, then you know your round is all over the shop.
Yeah. So I mean, and because of that, you've really got to keep it quite internal to what you do. Like what are my processes to play well?
Do you ever watch the leaderboard or not? If you like,
I try to avoid it until like the weekend. Then I think it's worth knowing. You know, it's like the back end of a tournament. But
what about live? You know, like will your caddy be like, just to let you know he's just parred that or birdied it?
yeah, I've done both. For example, in Germany, when my first win, I wasn't watching all day.
Yeah.
And I asked my caddy on 17, it's like a water hole. There's water that banks in front of the green.
You're winning and that your head's gone.
Well, pin's on the front left, and I said to him, I said to him, "Are we going at this pin?" Which I felt like was my way of saying, "Do I need to make birdie?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, you're hitting this on the middle of the green." So at that point, I thought, okay, I've probably in the lead here.
Wow.
Dumped it on the green, got out of there, par the last. So it was, and so that's kind of the extent I was looking into. To be honest, though, other times I feel comfortable looking at it.
I think I'd always want to look at it.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is. Even when you're playing your game, I want to know if I need to be aggressive or not. Like I want to know. Like if I'm one shot behind, I'd rather finish 5th. Maybe you wouldn't because the winnings are different than 2nd. Because I want to be first. Like if there's a chance I could be first, I want to know. But I suppose that's the margins of golf. You don't want to know that. You just want to play your round, I suppose.
Yeah, and if it affects how you would go about a shot, knowing the leaderboard, it might. That's why I would probably look in the latter stages of a tournament. I don't personally see how Friday morning looking at the leaderboard helps me, because if someone's gone out and shot 9 or 10 under on a Thursday and I've shot 1 under and I've had a slow front 9, I'm just reinforcing that I'm miles behind. Whereas,
can you catch that up if you're not?
Yeah, you definitely can. Because I mean, that's the thing about golf. We've seen people blow crazy leads, do crazy stuff to lose.
What did Rory do recently? Did he put like 4 in the water or something stupid like that? So I was reading about it literally last month or the month before. He'd done something mad, like it was unheard of. It was like it was 3 or 4 balls in the water. I'll come back to you and let you know what it is. I know you can't say it, but I'll tell you what it is later on.
Okay, I'm thinking.
Okay, so there's a couple of things on here. I've got some weird things that I just need to address with you that have come up. You gave Caitlyn Jenner a golf lesson.
I did, yeah.
How did that come about?
So she was playing in a tournament in America.
Yeah.
And we just got paired together. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
In terms of I chatted to her about everything, like sport, her career.
Yeah.
Lots of kind of, and
Do you follow each other on Instagram now?
yeah, and
Really?
at the time there were quite a lot of issues coming up around like women in sport. Actually,
Yeah.
like that whole debate was raging, and she was great to chat to about that. Had some like she was just really good, laugh, hang out, and like very good athlete.
Yeah, well, she's going to be
Crazy
in the
like,
Olympics.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
It's just-
strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was impressive. And she loved the golf, wanted to get better. So
There was
yeah,
big. Wasn't there a big like press thing about it because you were like behind her and like you were swinging the hips? Is that a thing or not? Because it came out, didn't it? I watched the clip of it earlier.
I was trying to show her a golf drill that I thought would help her.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it had got if it got pickup from that.
No, you got pick up.
Okay, we were just we're working on a swing. I want to say in a very public setting. But no,
cool.
it was cool.
Oh, okay.
Stick
Is
it.
that the strangest thing in golf? What's the strangest thing in golf you've seen? Has anybody approached you? Or anyone? What's the weirdest thing you've seen in your career where you thought, wow, this, how am I in this setting?
I mean, I still find it sort of funny how into golf some people get.
Yeah.
So it's like, for example, the Asian market. I played in Korea last year with played with Adam Scott and Ben Arn, who was kind of like the local Korean hero. And that still, I find the whole thing slightly crazy.
Well, they swamp you.
It's like 3,000 people on the tee, and as you're getting over the ball, all the cameras start like ding, 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 ding.
Really?
Yeah, it's like that. And the general fanfare around that the kind of people get really into their equipment again, especially the Asian market. Yeah. So
it's a different world, isn't it? Look,
yeah.
You go to like, where did I go? I went to Shanghai, and I remember going there. This is like 2016, and I come back from there, and I said to my mate, I was like, honestly, it's like a different world. Like where I was, they didn't understand the word Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Or taxi,
yeah.
like, and maybe it's where I was at the time, but I've been to Nanjing Road, which is the main road. I've been everywhere, and I come back and I was like, I've never experienced anything like it. It's like the people, the how crowded everyone is, and how, like, I can't explain it. It's just a different world.
Yeah,
at the end of the world.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely culture.
Yes,
it's just different. It's different. And I think they definitely are into their heroes in a slightly different way. I think maybe Western culture, because there are, if you live in the UK, you'll see a lot of footballers or you see a lot of actors. Like, whereas I don't think it's maybe quite the same.
I wonder if they hate, like in England, like, if like Haaland walks down the street, a Man United fan would be like, "You're a knobhead." I wonder if in like, Korea, in these places, if there's someone they don't like, if it's the same aggression or if it's like, because they do idolize people, don't they? Like, it's a big thing. There's massive idolization there.
Yeah.
I need to find that out.
I can't see the abuse being at the same level that footballers get. But I mean, there's not a place in the world where they get more abuse than England. So
do you talk about idealization, things like that. I think you must have a lot of people that would like to play golf with you. If you had any like cool celebrities say, look, they want to play golf with you? Except me.
Yeah, well, look, we're lucky with the pro-ams. You get to meet so many cool people on a Wednesday. And not the feedback I get from the pro-ams, so yeah, for people who don't know golf, the day before our tournament starts on a Thursday, on the Wednesday, you'd have a pro, like they call it a pro-am. So
you pointed at me with the amateur, you're amateur.
And they'd typically, like, the tournament would like kind of garner interest by bringing in some celebrities or local people of influence, businessmen, sponsors, that type of thing. So you do, just through that, I've played with some Caitlyn Jenner, people like that who I would never really walk past with. Last year at the Irish Open, I played with the chief executive of Chevron. I've played with Michael Bloomberg for 3 days.
Oh, really?
Those kind of things just don't happen like really outside of golf. So
I did one when I was playing with Danny Willett, and I'm there with the director of Gulfstream, which is the biggest private jet company in the world. And then I was there with one of the directors from Richard Mill. And you play it, and when you're in them circles, like the circle of influence, even for business and everything, golf does attract a real different type of clientele.
It's great. Well, I bet you were absolutely Mark 1 that day trying to sell your watch.
Well, basically, they got to like the 17th, and they were like, "This plane here, it's $50 million." I was like, "You're at the wrong guy. I don't know where you think I'm pulling $50 million from." But yeah, it's really, really intriguing. Okay, so your father. I've got something really nice that I read here about him, about you specifically. When you first started golf, for the first 2 years, did he front you and sacrifice to get you to where you need to get to? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, I think like I was saying, kind of with my tennis background, my parents, they've just always been very supportive of me, and I think I was kind of a late starter within golf. Yeah. So by the time I was 18, I was a scratch handicap, but I was barely in the sort of county team. Yeah. Miles off being a pro on a tour. But I think my mum and dad could kind of see the passion that I had for the game. So yeah, my dad basically said, look, go and you can live with us. You haven't got those expenses, and we can, we'll pay for you to enter all the events as an amateur. You can.
Wow.
Let's like
That's massive.
give
That's
it a go for a
amazing.
year or two. Yeah,
You can only offer to hope that to your kids and our kids. If you can give that to your child, since that's happened, have you ever had the conversation where you've been like, look, I'm here because of you, or not? Have you had that deep conversation? You're not in that space.
I think so.
Because I'm not like that. With my parents, I'd never sit down and be like, thank you so much. They know, like, then I'm a giver. Like, I don't really sit down. Have you ever had that conversation or not really?
Yeah, I think probably not as directly as that.
He's watching now.
But they would know what they've done, and I feel like the experiences that kind of they've seen me have in golf, I would hope that they would know that. Because really, like, it's like if you're a golfer or you're a sportsman, it's like an unbelievably selfish career. But at the front end, you need your family to back you, and the sacrifices that you're talking about. And then when you have your own family, they actually have to give up a lot because I go away 25, 30 weeks a year to play golf, which is what I wanted to do since I was 12 or 13. So, and you could flip that and say, you provide for your family and such and such. But the reality is, like, if you know what it's like with your kids, they want you. They don't really care about the other.
I think people don't get that side of it. I mean, I've got 2 kids. I've got a boy who's 5 in May, girl that's 7. And I think your priorities change when you're younger. When I was younger, like, yours would probably be number 1 in golf, make money, like fame, success, power. Mine was real estate, fame, success, power, money. And then when you have kids, like, honestly, I was talking to my brother today about it, and I just said, what's the number 1 thing in life? Like, I said, I love hanging out with my kids.
Yeah.
I love, like, taking them to bed. I love taking them out somewhere. And I think people need to be comfortable that, you talk about your mum and dad and them taking you to that stage of pushing you as a golfer. It's probably what we're going through as parents, where your number 1 thing, probably your career at some point becomes second to your kids. And that's a huge sacrifice. That's what I was going to ask you. Like, I think last time I saw you, you were on a plane, and I think I was coming back from England, and I think you were just coming back. Where were you?
Yeah, we were both coming back. I think we were both with our families coming back from the UK back to Dubai.
Yeah. And I think we were chatting at the time, you were telling me how much you fly. And I messaged you the next week, and I'm sure you're flying to Miami for Live.
Yep. And
I was like, wow, man, this geezer must travel a lot. Does that affect your mentally, family? How is that? What's the negatives to that?
Yeah, it does affect you.
Yeah.
Like it, and that again it's one of those unexplained things that happens. It didn't affect me until I had kids.
Yeah.
and I know that sounds a bit like woolly, but I used to like traveling. My wife used to travel a lot with me.
She's a manager, I believe, as well.
She is.
I know that. We'll get onto that in a minute, mate.
So they were like great times that we probably 2 or 3 of the best years of my wife and my life was traveling together and seeing the world and doing all that. And then, but when you have kids, they change a lot, but actually your whole mindset to it changes. And the thing that is consistent with people I speak to who have kids is they all say, like, don't miss it. It goes so quick.
Yeah.
And when you're, FaceTime's good, but it's not the, it isn't the same. Like, I think all those things that you value with your kids, like bedtime and that stuff, it does, that they are like, it is really quite special. So yeah,
it weighs on you, doesn't it? It's like, I see people, don't know if you ever read the Daily Mail or these things, but if you're a sportsman and you make money, and let's say that someone reads that you've just signed for Live again, which we'll get onto later, they'll be like, oh, it's all right for him. How could he's moaning with his millions in his bank? And honestly, money's great, but we'll make it elsewhere. But you don't get that time back with your wife and also, your kids and everything else. I think that's a huge part. And we were talking earlier about my friend Cal Crutchlow, and obviously we're playing golf with him later on today, where you're going to spank us. We'll put the scores on later for that. And he was saying the same thing. His big thing is his kids didn't go to school; they were homeschooled for a long time because he wanted to take his kids on, on around the world with him.
Yeah.
So I think it's a huge, huge thing. So yeah, with your dad doing that for you, I think we're all going through the same thing of kids first and career second. But it's a catch-22 because we're the same people. I want to make money for my kids' future.
Yeah.
So you're all trapped a little bit.
Yeah, well, and I think that's for me, I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Like, I think you have to be, because it's like, you can give them an amazing start in life. I think Dubai is kind of an example of that. I mean, it's an amazing place for kids. So I'm proud of that golf, and I can do that. But it's yeah, you're right. The time element is something that I think as you get older, you consider it way more and differently. Yeah.
Is that going to change? Because obviously the live, which we're going to get talk on something. One of the big reasons I understand that you took live, obviously the Saudi pool of finances is massive, which we'll get on to. Because I went to the wrestling last month, and you can see it with football, and you can see it with the wrestling, and like it's not just wrestling; it's TKO Group with the UFC and everything else.
Yeah.
Do you think that you going into live, it means you travel less or not, and play less? All the same.
Yeah, no, I think you definitely. So that is a good question. From where I live here in Dubai, I will travel less than if I played on the PGA Tour.
Really?
Definitely, yeah. The PGA Tour for me, if I'd have gone and done that this year, would have been probably 28 weeks, certainly 25 weeks in America. But then there would have been lots of time there where I probably still wouldn't have come home, because I'd have been in between events, so stayed in America. So the whole package, if you like, was kind of like a 35-week away from my kids type thing, unless they travel with me.
People won't see that, by the way, because like I said, I was doing research before, and I always like to do research on the guests, and people won't see that. They will see the headlines, they will see signs for live and everything else, but there is a story behind the reason why. There's a story behind why I moved to Dubai. Like, it's not just, oh, I've come for money. Like, there is more to family future and security and everything that comes with it. I mean, if you'd said to we haven't had this discussion, but if someone said to me today, and I was a footballer, do you ever know a guy called Oscar? He was the Chelsea guy that went to China.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a guy talking about that, and this guy went, it's an interview with him. This is like 2010 or 12. And he went, you've gone to China, and basically you're not playing the Premier League now. And he went, yeah, I get it. Still an amazing footballer. More importantly, my family and my family's generations, I've secured it. And that's everything to me. And the guy, they shut him down on the spot, because like, oh, well, he's not actually just doing it for one reason. He's basically securing his family's future. Do you think you going to live the second time, isn't it? Is it the second time?
Yep.
Is it a personal thing, or is it a career thing? The reason you've gone there, what would you put it down to? It was a mix.
It's not a cop out. It would be a mix. So I really, really like live. Like, I like it for a lot of reasons.
What do you like about it?
I really like the team element. Like, for me personally, I can play with. I mean, the captains of my team are Ian Poulter and Lee Westwood, who, for me, I grew up watching the European Tour.
Yeah,
they are the heroes in my head of that.
Are they active in the PGA before or not?
Yeah, they played. Ian played pretty much a lot, like full-time PGA Tour. They both were always members of the European Tour. Lee Westwood became world number one playing more or less full-time on the European Tour. He is like a real quiet hero of the European Tour.
Are you friends with them?
Yeah, I am. And they're
so
like,
if you said to them, now lads, they're in Dubai, let's go for a lunch, would they meet you for lunch?
Yeah, definitely.
You'd hope they would.
Yeah, well,
please meet me for lunch.
The latter, actually, were not contracted this week to spending the time with you. But
sorry, mate, only live.
I'd like to think they would, but they, I mean, they're actually, Westy especially is like a big Dubai. He's in Dubai this week. He's a big Dubai fan. So but like for me, that has always been a big draw. Like I think being around people like that is great. They've got good energy. I like it. I think the opportunity that Liv has, that, for example, if I'm talking about contrasting it with the PGA Tour, is you play around the world. So I think the biggest problem that golf as a sport has is the PGA Tour controls all the schedule from January till September. So really, those months, if you want to kind of, certainly in the past, be a top 10, top 20 player, you kind of had to go and play and live in America.
So it's just proper, it's all American.
The only opportunity to make it this stark, until Liv came along, the only opportunity to watch the best players in the world all play together was the Open Championship outside of America.
Genuine question, outside of Liv doing it, which they come for great backing and vision, why would England not do it? Why would England not say, cool, okay, we've got Scotland, England, got amazing courses. what's the American thing? What is it?
Well, they have amazing tour. They have the Scottish Open as an amazing
Yeah.
tournament, the Irish Open. They'll have but that for me is how I think golf should work.
Yeah.
Golf should be a worldwide game.
Agreed.
Like it shouldn't just exist in America. And that is, if you're looking at sports that have had amazing growth that are genuine worldwide sports, it's stuff like F1.
UFC.
It goes around the world,
Yeah.
like, and they're proud of that, and they take it to new markets and they grow it. And to be honest, as a golfer, that's what I'd want as well.
Is that a tradition thing? Do you think that they're stuck in their ways a little bit, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, the PGA Tour's not even that old. When people talk about it being really old, it was basically formed in the 70s.
What about the people that run it, though? I mean, I don't know the people that run it, and I don't really follow golf. I know you've got to be controversial here, but you'd hope that the way the world is, things move forward. Like with Liv doing what they're doing and attracting really good talent. I mean, I've got here, did John Ram sign $450 million?
I don't know his sign on
450.
but I think
But he's one of the best. He was one of the most well-known.
yeah, I mean, for that, I mean, to me, Liv have got
I like how you laughed when I said 450. I don't know anything.
was that it? No, I think it was. I think, between him and Bryson,
Yeah.
that's. I mean, John, Rory, Tommy Fleetwood. Those guys are like the top kind of players in Europe. Bryson, I think, is probably now the biggest. If he's not the biggest, he's certainly right next to Rory as the biggest name in golf.
Yeah.
I think what he's doing with his media stuff, with his YouTube, how accessible he is, it's great to have someone like that. So yeah, I think like Liv has captured some really important people in golf, and like the pool of players is really strong.
Do you think as a fan, is it as entertaining? Is it any different format, or is it just the same?
Yeah. So originally the plan was, I think, for Liv was to do 3 days, condense it. They've gone to 4 days. I think a big part of that move is to try and get the world ranking points that they finally got a couple of weeks ago. If you go
Say that again, they got the world ranking.
They've got world ranking points, so they've been trying.
That was unheard. That didn't exist before.
Yeah, for 3 years they were trying. That's happened this season, which is a big step forward.
Because that means that if you need to go on tour, you can get points.
You can get points. So really, it's access to the majors.
Yeah,
which is what there's a lot of players in Liv who've haven't been able to earn points and kind of slightly, I don't want to say lost their way, but they're not the player they aren't reflective of their world ranking.
Is the majors the Champions League of football?
Yeah, the majors are obviously the USPGA, the Masters, the Open, and the US Open.
What's the number one? What's the Holy Grail World Cup? Like, what is it?
I would say it's the US Open it's the Open or the Masters.
Oh, really?
Depending on who you are. Probably if you're, as a Brit, this feels bad saying this, but I feel like if you're British, you'll probably say the Open. And if you're outside of Britain, everyone will say the Masters.
Oh, really?
I think the Masters is the tournament when I speak to most people, and when I've made the Masters for the first time, I felt like that was the sort of reception and people's response to me being in it was at a much different level to the Open side.
So let's say the Masters now. If you are a winner in the Masters and then you win Liv separately, what's the multiple difference? Is it twice, 3 times, 5 times more if you win Liv versus the Masters?
I don't even know how much. If you win a Liv event, you win $4 million.
Okay.
So it's
just one event.
One event. It's a lot of money. Yeah. I think I don't even know what the Masters is. Okay. I don't know what any of the majors are. I think they stand so far kind of apart from all tour golf.
Yeah.
In terms of,
is it just you're going to win it, forget the prize money? Like you want?
I bet you win a lot of money. I'll find out for you after this. I bet it'll be a lot of money, but it's the fact that you get a green jacket.
Yeah,
you're a member at Augusta National Golf Club. I mean, it's just,
is that the Holy Grail?
Yeah, I would say that's the Holy Grail. It's like the hardest place to get into. It's mythically private.
Do you think you could get there in your career?
To the Masters?
Yeah,
or win the Masters?
Win the Masters.
Yeah, I mean, I need to get in it. I got in it for the first time last year. I think it's somewhere you need to consistently get.
Did you play in it?
I played in it last year. Yeah.
How did you get on?
Missed the cut. So
travelled all the way there.
I mean, that's another side we could get into that about the side of golf, but that would be a tournament that certainly, like every golfer, that's like there in the Open for me would be the ones you kind of dream of, or have those fake 10-foot putts. This is for the Open, or this is for the Masters. So there's definitely that element.
But we wouldn't know what the revenue difference is it from live to the Masters. But what about I don't know, like what are the multiples? Are we talking are people earning like 5 times more money, 10 times more money if you win it must be a lot.
You win the Masters.
No, just like let's not use the Masters example. Let's just say the best known golf event that's not the Masters or the Open.
Right. So yeah. So for example, on the European Tour, which is where I played the vast majority of my golf, the sort of average win would be around, if you won a tournament, I think for the tournament in the European Open, I think I won about 400,000 and maybe 500,000 for Bahrain.
Yeah.
So,
and then you get 4 million for
we're
live.
talking 10x, yeah, with the prize funds, yeah. So the average prize fund on the European Tour might be $2 to $3 million, which I think, which is fantastic.
Yeah, of course it is.
But then live is $30 million. So
look, and people are not going to get this. I'm going to sound like an idiot saying it for some people, but £500,000 for a win actually isn't a lot of money in my opinion. And I know I live in a different world, so I'm not going to sit here and like plead. Yeah, no, but I do believe if you take it as a golfer, I guess you've got to pay for your own travel, you've got to pay for your trainers, you've got to have you've got a cut that goes towards your caddy. You probably got to pay fees to enter the tournament. Coaches. Like when you break it down and then you say, okay, we've actually made 300 grand net, we're going to get taxed on it. And then we've also got to spread that over a 4-month period of doing the training and everything else that comes with it. It's not as sexy as people make it out if you're not really good at golf or you're in the live.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to get my violin out because I think golfers are at the top level really well paid. I think we're really lucky. But you're right in that. I mean, if I was giving you a breakdown of my check, players give caddies between 7 and 10% of their check. They give their coaches 4%. Some coaches have a couple of coaches. Your expenses are going to run. Mine, by the time we kind of sort everything out, I would say a minimum $5,000 a week. So
do you have to pay for your own flights and stuff?
Flights, accommodation, everything.
It's heavy, isn't
when you net
with your manager.
The thing is, you miss a couple of cuts at the Masters, you quickly find yourself back in economy. So that's just like you have to balance it. We run a business, and it's.
Have you ever flew economy on a major flight in the last 5 years?
I fly economy. I fly economy when I'm traveling with my kids because I kind of feel like it's a little bit wasted. I think it's a really important part of preparing is if you're doing a long haul flight to try and give yourself that time to have a nice seat. I think it's worth it.
I think
because getting off and being fresh.
I don't travel at night time. I refuse to travel at night because I can't sleep on a plane. And I'm of the opinion that I don't really buy designer clothes. I don't go to nightclubs. I don't do any of them things. So what my actual pleasure is traveling well and going to nice hotels.
Yeah,
and that's how I reason myself why I'm in first class. I don't go to clubs.
taking over the suites at the front. But no, I mean and I think how you rationalise it to yourself is a personal thing. For me, it is important. Like if I've sort of I'm 6'3", if I fold myself into a seat, I sit there for 10 hours and my back's stiffened up and it's not right till Thursday.
Yeah,
the relative cost of that's quite high. I think. So
you ever flew business, okay, and then left your missus in economy?
No,
my brother's done that. And she was pregnant.
It's a power play. That I mean, that's
huge. Isn't it?
You feel like surely there'd be a push and pull to that.
Do you know where it's like,
down
I want my seat, but it didn't give it. Like, you sure? Like, I was like, wow, that's a low moment.
You're throwing your breath. Right?
Yeah, it is what it is. Look, I'm an honest guy. You come on the podcast, I'll say it how it
is. Yeah, I mean, look, ultimately, it's how you can budget and spend your money how you want. But I think you're right to say the headline figures of earnings are distorted, and there are like big costs associated with being a pro that you have to balance. Yeah.
Do you run it as a business or do you run it as a person? So when you're doing it, have you got like a Laurie Canter LLC where the money goes into, you run it as expenses, or is it ran just individually? Because someone told me before that you can no longer you can't put it into a company. It's got to go into individuals now. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the like specific kind of tax treatment around the world, as it were. I mean, I've always in my own mind run it as a company.
Yeah.
Because I see in my own little world, I'd have probably 4 or 5 staff who help me.
Yeah.
Like physio, caddy, coaches, and they're effectively my employees.
Agreed.
So And I think it's a more healthy way to run it, because then you can be more upfront about things.
If the business is doing well, we're all doing well, and if
Yeah.
we're not, like, that's how I think, you are not an individual, you are the CEO of the company,
Yeah.
but basically you don't operate without your physio, caddy, and these things. So I think but I wonder how many people are business savvy enough to do that. I
Yeah.
might have to get to a certain level to do it as well.
Probably, yeah. I mean, potentially there's that, but I think it should be everyone should be minded that way, because you've got 2 or 3 different streams to earn money as a golfer, and they have to kind of support each other. So
In my world, I don't live in a normal world, so I'm comfortable saying that. Like, I know I've been in Dubai 20 years. I've been in the property boom, like, and
you
I've
do
got
not
this.
live in a normal
No,
world.
I know, but I don't sit there now. I used to be like, I'm a normal guy. I'm a normal guy, but I don't live in a normal world. And ever since I've been 22, I've always had a helper live with me. And the reason I've had the helper with me, I don't want to do my own ironing. I don't want to do my own cleaning, because my time I can outsource elsewhere. And I've got like a driver that works for us, and I've got different people that work in the family. And I look at it and think, if you treat it as a business and have that mindset of like, okay, let's say an Allsopp. I'm not an accountant, but I have a great accountant that does the stuff for me. I haven't got the time to do that, and I've got a marketing team that do it. They're really good at it. And I think if you have that mindset as you go through that stage, what I've realized is really successful people, they outsource their time for other people to do it for them, whether that's the physio, the management, the accounts. That's how I think entrepreneurs and high level sports people should be trained to be.
Yeah, I mean, in your job and my job, you have to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you get, there's loads of things as well. I imagine your life would be, I mean, I feel like my life's fairly chaotic at times. I think yours would be, with your business and the people that you employ, would be really chaotic at times. So if you don't focus on what makes your company tick, then
look, we need money and revenue. You need wins.
Yeah.
Like, and I can't concentrate on dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Do you know what I mean? And like, and dealing with a marketing meeting. I've got marketers do it. So I just think you hit the nail on the head. Do what you're good at, and let everyone else, live off the business. That's basically how you do it. Okay. So last thing I've got here for you. You, after golf. A lot of sports people go into sports, be really successful, and I've seen it, especially in the late 90s, they go bankrupt and they lose their money wild. Like, I don't understand how you do it.
Yeah.
My question I've got for you is, how are you managing that? Are you doing anything outside of golf, and what's your plans after golf? That's multiple questions there for you.
Yeah, so it is a good question. I think it links a bit to what we were saying about kids. I'd like to be around a bit more, probably when my kids are certainly like your kids' age.
Yeah.
So I've a few years ago I took like a degree outside of golf that I just did through the Open University. It's like a legal degree, but my interest would lie within business, and kind of maybe even the business of sport.
Yeah.
There's like a couple of really interesting like investment vehicles in the UK that I've spoken with. I've got involved loosely with a couple, and I think there is going to be a lot of growth in that area.
Yeah.
I think as people look after themselves more, understand the link between like stress, that the way stress exhibits in the body is similar with everyone. So you might look at Cal Crutchlow or a golfer or a CEO, but actually the response to stress affects everyone the same.
Yeah, agree.
And it's managing it. And there are, sport, I think, has been at the forefront of figuring out how to manage it better and more appropriately. So that's like one kind of element of how I think sport will, and it kind of already has with your whoops or your Oura rings or
You wear, or will you?
I do actually. It's charging it.
Mate, I love it.
Yeah.
I had the whoop, and it was too aggressive. Like, if you had a bad sleep, you wake up and you go, your day is over. You might as well die today. I'm like, right, I'm not wearing. As soon as that tells me that I'm finished.
Yeah.
So I put this on. It's non-invasive. Get 10 days out of it. It just works well.
No, that I really rate mine, and I think again, anything like that where you get a bit of data, you can see how travel will affect you,
What's your sleep number on it? What? I'm like always early 90s.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I think I've worn Aura for 2 years. I've probably had 2 sleeps in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, I just
Oh,
I'm a really good deep sleeper. Struggle with REM. I think the travel. The most I'm ever at home is kind of 2 weeks, and I just so to establish that work, that thing will rewards you for routine,
Yeah.
and I'm never in a routine because
I've got this thing where if I go to bed at night time, like the kids will get up, George will get up because I'm completely out cold. I like someone shot with a trank dart or something, and I'll wake up and I'll be like, "Oh, babe, did you have a good sleep?" And she'll be like, "Yeah, I got up at 3 and 2 and 12," and I'll check my ring and like, Lewis didn't wake up at all.
No, but I mean, there might be your I mean, for example, I remember a study with England Rugby that I read about a few years ago, and they were talking about they were beginning to track the players' sleep, and it's uncanny. Like the players who are sleep, the way you sleep manifests in a lot of different ways. Like if you're under stress, or you've got big decisions to make, or you're tired, all those things, they affect it hugely.
I don't operate well if I don't get 7 hours.
Yeah.
And this is the reason I took Whoop off, because if in my head I'm sort of told, oh, you're not in a good place, and I feel tired, I'm laggy, my decisions are not as good, like I'm grumpier, and I can't even hold a conversation properly. I'll be sitting there and words just bounce off my head, like I've just be like, I'm not in a good place.
Yep.
So I know sleep is probably my superpower.
Well, and it's a good one to have. I think it's something that I think everyone can take care of, and we know all the things you can do to help.
Yeah.
But until you have something like that, I know for me, for example, there's a few things like you'd scream before bed.
Yeah.
Alcohol kills it.
Yeah, that's what if I do one beer, the next day you're dead again.
Yeah. So I
There's no
mean,
point.
yeah. So that's for me, it's quite a positive reinforcer. Like I think having a drink's good for me at certain points.
Yeah.
Like I think it's fun. You can it's kind of potentially a bit of a barrier breaker, whatever. But I think fundamentally it's healthy if in moderation. But I think knowing that it is going to do that to you the next day, potentially
It's sort of
it's a
puts
habit
barrier. You go, I used to drink quite a lot when I was younger. I used to go out and party all the time, and people say, "Oh, Lewis, you don't really go out a lot anymore." And it's not that I don't like the party. Like if me and you went to a beach club today, I'd definitely have a glass of wine and everything else like that. But I'm not the guy that ever sits at home and has a beer on the sofa. And the reason for it is I won't get a good sleep. I'm dead the next day. Even off one beer, I'm all in and all out. Like if we're gonna have a beer, I'll be like, mate, let's have 10. Like there's no point in one beer. Like what's the point? I don't get it. Like are we benefiting? Are you either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it?
Yeah, no, I mean I could see that. I think pick your moments is probably the key for that. But yeah, I mean the tech that we now have, the things we have at our disposal, I think are interesting, and there's loads more to come with it. I think as we find out more about the body and how we can, how you might help your employees perform better. I think that will all be. I think that's beginning to become more at the forefront of how people operate.
I'm really, really intrigued in like biohacking. So I did a podcast about 2 years ago with DP World on their hyperbaric chambers.
Yep.
The maddest story. I'll have to send you the podcast, but if you're watching this and you're even intrigued in like health, we were in the DP. It was called Aviv Clinic, huge, massive building. And basically, this guy sits down and goes to me. We were just chatting, and these people, 8 people, were limping, walking past you. They're all in jumpsuits. It looked like they were in prison or something. So I went, mate, can you do me a favour? Tell me what's going on here. And he went, you see them people? I said, yeah, they're walking quite slow. He goes, yeah. And he said, 6 weeks ago, they're paraplegic. All of them. They couldn't walk. And basically, hyperbaric chamber, how it works is pressurize oxygen into your body. So it puts it into a state of repair it can never get into, whether it's cognitive functions, your muscles, everything else. It sends it to a state that you can never get near. And these specific chambers they have, like Cal Crutchlow that I was talking about, we'll get on a podcast, he really damaged his arm racing and basically wouldn't heal. Went to the hyperbaric chambers. Like what oxygenation of your body puts you to a place you can't get. So I'm a massive fan of that. I'm huge into peptides at the moment. Peptides are a really intriguing one. There's a guy called Dr. Naz who's on Instagram and worth a follow. He does anti-Joshua's Bloods and everyone else. And what he'll do is he'll take your bloods and he'll look at, you know, what your levels are for your HGH to your testosterone, and he'll give you peptides based on getting you to a place of like muscle growth, or BPC 157, which is like if I did my shoulder, and it's really bad, and I started taking BPC 157, how quickly it healed is mental. There was a study on someone that did their Achilles heel, their actual Achilles, and it repaired like 40% faster than anything else. Obviously, you can't use it on sports at the moment.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Come upstairs to me.
No peptides for it. No, but I've used hyperbaric chambers. They are, I've used the one that literally looks like someone just delivered a coffin to my house. And
the long one with the zip up. Yeah, they're rubbish though.
Yeah, I probably had like a 4 or 5 out of 10 experience with it, but I have heard the
you've got to use the proper one, because obviously the difference is the pressure that gets into there. And if you go into the bags, basically it's not the same. Like when you go into there's one in at Aon Clinic shout out to Aon Clinic in Atlantis Royal, give me a free hyperbaric. And you go in there and it's like a big circular tube that you sit in, they close. It feels like you're in a plane straight away, and it's just oxygen just goes straight into your body. Like you can feel it.
Okay.
But yeah, enough of the peptide and hyperbaric chat. Well, look, thank you so much for coming on. Really intrigued about your career, where it's going, which is obviously positive. Obviously, a journey in Dubai, and hopefully we'll see you like I did in the end of last year. You were #1 in the tour, wasn't you? And I remember I was going to text you. I was in my living room watching. I was like, Laurie Cantor, you were #1. Is it the last day?
Yeah, well, I was leading, was quite deep into the tournament. Yeah, I probably looked at the leaderboard and messed myself up. So there you go. But
so, what mistakes do you think athletes make financially or within their career that you think would be worthwhile highlighting?
I mean, with that, I sort of don't know specifics about different sports or different kind of circumstances. I think one thing that all sports people have in common is they probably have addictive personalities.
Yeah.
So #1 would be look at your sort of necessary cash burn rate, if you like, and probably mitigate it when you aren't earning the same money.
Do you do that now?
Yeah, I read a book a couple of years ago called The Psychology of Money.
Yeah.
It's quite a famous book. I think it's by Morgan Harkin, and it's that was quite eye-opening because it basically talks about people who go bankrupt and that kind of stuff. And the #1 thing is their lifestyle changes significantly as they earn more money.
It's true. Everything look, you wear better trainers, you wear better clothes. Like, I don't wear any designer clothes. I don't, but I have everything
Tom Ford hat on though.
Yeah, so know what I said that I've actually got a Dior jacket on as well, but I don't buy anything. I never buy. So my whole life is tailored clothes. I love Suited and Booted. Shout out to Suited and Booted. I love what they do, and that's got me to a really high standard of what I like to wear.
And this isn't we can't direct this at you, but I don't feel, because you're running a massively successful company. You need I think more sports people, because the earnings cliff happens so early.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're looking at a footballer, it's the earnings they have are amazing until 32, 33, and then it stops.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a gradual stop, or they don't pull back. They have a huge cliff. So if they're not set up,
what I find a lot of people don't do, they don't invest. And there's a saying, isn't there, that it's the poor spend, the middle class save, and the wealthy invest. And for the last probably 12 or 13 years, all I've done, every bit of money I've ever made, I just put it into property. And I've got this weird mindset. It's not a weird mindset. It's like, if it all stops tomorrow and the music stops, I can live off the rents that are coming in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, the first port of call is when they make some money is buy the nice watch or buy the nice car, rather than say, right, real successful sports people should be saying, how do I get my money I'm now making now? How do I get it to work? How do I get that when I'm sleeping? It's making money.
Yeah, I think, and you know, it would be. I've been lucky. I've had some like financial advice throughout my career, and it's around, I think, trying to mitigate your own risk.
Yeah.
You don't want to, for example, finish your career and have a load of debt. Like, I think debt used in the right way is a healthy thing. Like, but I think having a lot when the music stops, so to speak, within your sports career is probably something you could try and avoid.
There's something good about not having debt, isn't there? As in, like, it's like your peace of mind with your head, if that makes sense. So, like, I'm in real estate, and in case you didn't know, and I don't have any debt on any property in Dubai that I have except the home that I live in, because I class that as rent.
Yep.
And I like to have the capital to deploy. And my mindset is everything that I buy for investment, if I buy it in cash, which is, it's a slow way to do it, I get 100% of the rent back in my pocket, and I'll just boringly keep doing that. And I just like not having debt. And I think if you retire as a sports person and you're left with all this money to pay, you panic. You all of a sudden you're doing punditry and commentary, and you're doing collabs on like Instagram for some shakes and stuff. You don't want to be going down that avenue.
Well, I think it depends how kind of how you want that second part of your career to go. But certainly, I think the way you're doing it obviously is very feels like a very. I mean, that's an amazing thing to be able to do. I would say it's just purchase a load of property in cash. I mean, it
is 18 years, by the way. Like compound, like it's just.
That's what I mean. So you've bought smart.
Yeah.
You've then been able to keep roll up. You've obviously had money coming in, so it's enabled you to scale like that. Which
is what I think sports stars have. Let's say with you now, if I was you and you won Live tomorrow and you had $4 million, as an example, $5 million, whatever that may be, a good sensible person would go, cool, out of that 4 million, 3 million is immediately just going to go into buy a property, no matter what it is.
Yep.
And that will pay for my flights. If you're making $3 million and you're getting 7% on that, you're making $210,000 on that money yearly. That pays for your flights.
Yep.
Boring,
but
it's done. And then you do it again and again. Just got to keep winning.
Just got to keep winning. Yeah, no, I mean, there's I go make my landlord an offer in Jasmine Lane. So yeah.
No, you definitely can go bigger than Jasmine Lane. So what's the biggest financial risk that you've taken in your career specifically?
In COVID, back in 2020, my wife had a really steady job. She was like our mortgage payer at the time. I was kind of on and off the tools, struggling a little bit. And my golf company was able to take basically a COVID loan.
What?
And it so at that point, money was tight for us. And so I took like a £25,000 loan. I think that's what it was. And that was and I did stuff off the back of that. I went and we actually relocated in the UK. I moved to a different golf club that I felt was going to kind of support me practicing and playing better. So that felt like a big punt, because we basically rented the house we were living in, moved, and used the loan money, if you like, to
relocate,
to relocate, join a club, use a different coach. A few different things all came together, and it did actually lead to me playing good. Wow. And so that was probably a big risk that came off. I mean, it's a relative risk. But I at the time that felt like I was a bit of a gulp moment, because it was a lot of money.
Yeah, you have them moments in your career, don't you? Where like, even if, let's say, it's not the biggest amount of money that you're taking, it's actually the movement that you have to do, and you're uplifting things to say, right, I think this is the right direction.
Yeah, and you have to go with your gut and back yourself. So yeah, I think it always, probably you look back and think it wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
At the time, it felt like a massive deal. But I think, certainly in golf, that's the thing you have to do, is constantly invest and in yourself and back yourself. So that was probably it. So how do you stay motivated now?
I think your motivation changes. I think, your 20s you're earning, your 30s you're building, and I think your 40s is about preserving. That's how I envisage it. They'll get to a certain point with everybody where you don't want to battle anymore. I think in my 20s, I used to battle everybody. I don't care who you are. You want to go to war, we'll go to war. And I've just, in real estate terms, I'm game, no problem. And my motivation's a bit different now. See, I've got kids, and things change when you have kids, and what time you go to work, what time you get back from work, how much money you're earning, and these things. I think my motivation at the moment is I don't want to be forgotten. I know it sounds mad, but you probably go through the same thing. Like, I don't want to not be talked about. If I'm not being talked about and people are not going, Allsopp and Allsopp are doing amazing, and look at what Lewis is doing, look what the company are doing, I think that would hurt me. So I think that I've just got this weird competitive streak where I want to win. It doesn't matter if I'm playing football, golf, whatever it is. If I'm not winning, I'm not happy. And I think if you win, you're going to make money anyway. Because I want money, but I want to win. If I win, the byproduct of that is money. What about you?
I'll just think about that answer. That's good. I feel like my motivations would still be like in golf would be around trying to master and be better at the sport, which I think is what you're saying about. I guess your deals are transactional.
Yes.
Like you're going to win the deal, lose the deal, and for me, it's like I still want to get the top of my golf swing looking better, which will help me win. So it's like probably more like slightly more. I don't say process driven, but like I kind of probably have to be a bit more in that world. So I still feel, I guess, motivated by the game and trying to improve at the game. But
do you fear that you could be forgotten?
yeah, I mean, like I have massive jeopardy in your life of golf because you have, ultimately at the end of a year, we have a order of merit, like a money list effectively. And if you're, for example, on the European Tour, if you're 99, you're safe. And if you're 100, you're playing on the Challenge Tour next year for no money.
Wow.
So you can't.
When was that swing on the Challenge Tour?
6 years ago. Yeah, I mean, you can't.
Not good.
7 years ago, you can't make a living out there. Like it's not. It's a place where you're in a holding pattern to try and get back to a tour. So there are like real stark realities to professional golf. So I have that jeopardy every day.
Yeah.
I
think it's 50 Cent that said something. There's a quote that he said when he was being interviewed, and he said, "Fear will either do two things for you. It'll either hold you back or push you forward."
Yeah.
And I have that fear. Like I know, like I don't want to lose what I'm building.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone else to take what I've got.
Yeah.
So like I'm just constantly in fear. And that sounds really mad, but you hear it from someone at the top of sports and in real estate. There is a constant fear that just gets me up out of bed in the morning. Like I need to go.
Well, I'd say it's like a healthy thing.
Yeah.
I would argue that's healthy because it's like how competition works. The great thing about competition is that there's going to be people who come into the market in Dubai who want to do what you've done.
Yeah.
And that is part of
Crush them.
Well, but it's going to keep you sharp.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's the same with golf. Like I play with people who are 15 years younger, just out of college, and to be honest, sometimes I'm like, wow, like you can't have this guy's brilliant, but then so you go back, reflect in a way, right? How can I beat him? Well, I'm better at that, and I'm better than that, and I'm like, but I have to do this or whatever it might be. And if you looked at the crop of golfers now, and you went back 10 years. 10 years, there were people in the bar at night. There were people who travelled and didn't go to the gym. There were all those things. Whereas now, there will not be one golfer in the top 100 in the world who doesn't do gym work, doesn't have support. I
was speaking to one of my golf trainers last month, and he was saying like the new golfers are basically like machines. Like they come out of school with like the perfect swing, the perfect everything, and it's like wow, like the standard is just getting wildly good. Which again, I'm not saying you're old school because you're not old school, but you're not new school. So like you're a hybrid of like you're like a street thug, but also you're trained. And I think that's what I am. There are probably people come out of college and university that have so much better skills than me, but I know how to get shit done. And I think that's what comes with experience, well, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to have that. Like I've got like that will always work for you. Yeah, and I guess your challenge is like you keep evolving and then you bring good people in, right?
Yeah. Look, I think the world evolves. People. We talk about social media. I think you were talking about who's the guy in Live that's always on got a YouTube channel.
Bryson.
So Bryson's probably the number one earning guy in the world, probably, or close to.
Yeah.
And with him, if he didn't start his YouTube and he didn't say I'm going to join Live and he didn't say he's going to live in that place and didn't evolve, he might just be doing the tour, getting £500,000 for. So I think for people to get better, if I was a golfer, I would be going, how do I follow Bryson right now? How do I get to? I'd be doing YouTube. I would do all these things and doing things that I don't actually like doing because no one likes doing it. I don't love doing podcasts. I don't love doing this one specifically. I like meeting interesting people, but like when I do video content, I've got a YouTube channel with my YouTube team and I do content for work. It's work. But if I don't do it, someone else is.
Yep.
And the way that social media, we're talking about Gordon Ramsay and saying how much he loves it. I love what it is, but it's a bit like the news. Like BBC when they say like they'll say something's gone on in the world. That's their narrative. People eat it up, they read it, and they digest it and send it to the world. The same thing with social media. Like Bryson or me can put something about real estate or golf. Millions of people will watch it, and they'll spread that against somebody else.
Yep.
And you become your own news channel. So like social media and these things, basically Bryson and these people are getting better and learning new techniques, which is keeping them at their game. And that's what I think, if I was a golfer, I'd be like, I need to do more. And that's just a competitive streak, isn't it, you have?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Thank you very much for coming down.
Cheers. Thank you very
Cheers.
much.